In this work, we present our latest approach to human affordance detection. It is called AROS, Affordances Recognition with One-Shot Human Stances. Initially coined by James Gibson in 1977, the concept of affordances refers to the action possibilities perceived from the environment. Gibson argues that affordances are what we perceive when looking to an environment. The detection of affordances answers one of the most important questions we can make when observing an environment. What and where can an action happen? For example, when looking at this scene, let's try to answer, where can a human sit? Our answers would include not just furniture that, by design, is for people to sit. Keeping this idea, the fact that chairs and sofas are meant for people to sit on does not mean they cannot be used as stand-able locations for reaching out to a higher place in the environment. It is not important if the perceiver does not know how to name elements in the environment but what opportunities of interaction are offered by it. Recent approaches, like PLACE and POSA, have worked toward providing such key competency to artificial systems via deep learning. The effectiveness of these data-driven efforts highly depends on the number of classes, the number of examples by class, and their diversity. When a new class or category needs to be incorporated, sufficient samples need to be provided and the training should be executed one more time. In this work, we present AROS, a one-shot learning approach that uses an explicit representation of interactions between highly articulated human poses and 3D scenes. Our approach requires only one or a small handful of examples to describe a target interaction. AROS extracts an explainable geometrical description by analyzing proximity zones and clearance space between the interacting entities. Let's consider the example of a human sitting on a sofa that would help us to train and find sit-able locations. The AROS descriptor develops over the bisector surface. To calculate it, we extract evenly distributed samples from the surfaces. Then a Voronoi diagram is calculated and filtered to keep only vertices and ridges that are equidistant to both the human body and the environment samples. We use the interaction bisector surface to calculate the clearance and provenance vectors that characterize the interaction's free space and proximity zones. A sampling of these vectors integrates into our descriptor. AROS detects affordances as follows. Given a location to test, we measure the compatibility with clearance and provenance vectors on different orientations, and keep the best one to generate the interaction representation. An optimization step closes the gaps between the environment and the body that are inherent to the bisector surface. In order to enhance the environment representation for our affordance detection and to reduce the 3D scan noise, we use spherical fillers. More details are described in the paper. Our experiments include an analysis of physical plausibility as well as perception studies. The physical plausibility scores measure the trade-off between the contact and collision of the body surface with the environment. An ablation study showed the effectiveness of our workflow steps. A comparison with the state-of-the-art shows that AROS has competitive performance. In the first of our perception studies, a side-by-side comparison was presented to judges from the Amazon Mechanical Turk to decide the most natural interaction. AROS was selected in most of the evaluations. The second perception study evaluates each approach individually by using a Likert scale. A statistical inference analysis shows that our approach outperforms the baseline methods. Here are some qualitative results. AROS generalizes well from a single example and is capable of multiple detections on a single location. Alternatively, AROS can be used to concatenate affordances over several positions to generate useful affordance maps for action planners. This can be used as a way to generate visualizations of action scripts or to plan the ergonomics and usability of spaces beyond individual objects. For more details, please visit the project's webpage.